Brutal scenes of violence have marred Catalonia's controversial independence referendum. More than 460 people have been injured in clashes with military police. That's according to Barcelona's mayor.
We saw already people bleeding and hurt, and this is not the first three people that we saw today already that were hurt and taken from here by ambulance. So this is happening from the early hours of the morning, and it seems to be escalating.
Spanish civil guards have been forcing their way into polling stations right across the region. They've broken down doors as activists inside try to prevent them from entering, with a number of people actually being dragged away. And police have been using rubber bullets to disperse the protesters. This type of ammunition is used worldwide. It's considered to be non-lethal, but the use of rubber bullets is associated with cases of blunt trauma to the brain and also damaged organs. These can lead to permanent disability, even death. Meanwhile, Spain's Deputy Prime Minister says that police have acted in a professional and proportionate way and that officers weren't going after voters themselves, but rather referendum material. And the country's Interior Ministry appealed for cooperation and respect so that a direct court order can be enacted peacefully. And here you can see protesters in Girona, that's in northeastern Catalonia, facing off against officers. Demonstrators have their hands up, that's in a sign of non-violence. The police appear here to be still hitting them with batons. We spoke to one man who was injured in those clashes.
We thought they would be trying to take off us from the polling stations. We never thought that there would be such a violence from the police. They hit us badly, all people, kids. It's been simply unacceptable. We were singing and we sang no violence. We sing we just want to vote. We sing we are all friends, and they hit us with the clubs. It's been terrible. Many people crying. So the I don't know what they think it's proportion, but no one here was doing nothing else than singing and asking for our freedom of voting. They were not making any distinction at all. They were hitting everyone. They were not looking at anything.
And let's bring you this footage now. It's emerged showing a Catalan policeman who is seen on the right here being pushed and shoved. These are two members of the civil guard. The Catalan officer trying to calm down his civil guard colleagues, trying to protect the protesters, but as you can see, hands were laid on, there was pushing, there was shoving, and the crowd who were watching onto that scene were visibly enraged. Jose Enric Folch, who's from the Catalan Solidarity for Independence coalition, told us that all the violence coming from police today has been very unexpected.
The reaction of the people, it's that everybody here is much shocked about the police reaction. It is the national police who acts against the people. It is not the Catalan police. They don't show neither an order of procurator. They don't show neither an order of justice. They only react, entering with violence and taking out the ballots on the polling stations. It is never seen before. We could never believe that what we are suffering for democracy. It's incredible.
Now, videos also appeared online of officers confiscating ballot boxes and voting papers from a Catalan polling station, with voters trying to stop them. And these are pictures of the police taking the ballot boxes away. You hear people in the background heckling the officers. Police also reportedly seized boxes and voting papers in the days leading up to the referendum.
¡Viva España! ¡Viva la policía!
Meanwhile, in Madrid, unionists have been staging a rally in one of the central squares there. The activists were waving Spanish flags and shouting slogans in support of Spanish unity and the national police. Catalonia is a crucial economic region. This could be one of the main reasons behind the unrelenting opposition of Madrid to the independence vote. Catalonia covers 6% of the country's territory, but it accounts for 20% of Spain's GDP. The region's also responsible for more than half of all start-up investments. And almost a quarter of Spain's foreign tourists, they go to Catalonia. Another key reason why Madrid is so enthusiastic to stop the region breaking away.
In Spain, 3 members of the former government have been judged and convicted and barred from public positions only because we let people vote.
Que no és una cosa de 4, que és una cosa de tot el poble i que ho estem fent tots junts.
Nuestra gran fuerza son las papeletas y las urnas. Cualquier ciudadano, de los que están aquí o de los que están en su casa, puede imprimirse la papeleta.
Let's cross over to Barcelona now, because our correspondent Medina Kotchinova is based there. Medina, you've had a great opportunity to see exactly what's going on, see and hear reports of all kinds of injuries coming in, unexpected violence. What can you tell us?
Well, Neil, I can tell you that this morning we saw a lot of violence indeed, and we saw clashes erupted between police forces and ordinary citizens of Barcelona who simply came to vote at different polling stations at this day of the referendum of independence of this region. Now, Catalan authorities are right now saying that they will appeal to international court over the violence and the clashes that we saw this morning, and indeed we saw a lot of worrying events really taking place at different school buildings that were used as polling stations. We saw police pushing people out. We saw them throwing people onto the ground, breaking down doors, breaking down windows of different schools just to get inside and to do everything they can to prevent people from voting, to shut down polling stations. And it was indeed a lot of violence.
We proposed to resist without violence. They could have taken us by the arms and made us stand up, but they started shooting with rubber bullets and hitting us with batons. Grandparents, children, women, all crying, all suffering. Why? Just for wanting to vote, for wanting democracy.
We have united and formed a barricade. They detained and mistreated people, only for daring to lift a paper in the hands.
Well, this morning people were ready to gather peacefully, and they were telling us how important for them it is to remain a peaceful gathering. But really, throughout the day, the mood of the crowd seems to have changed. Now, there are reports of injured policemen as a result of scuffles between the crowd and security services. Now, people are building barricades in some areas of the region, as well as here in the capital city of Barcelona. and they're doing so just to protect those remaining polling stations that are still operational, to let this referendum go forward and to let it finish by the end of this Sunday. Now, we keep receiving different kind of videos from social platforms mostly, and in one video, it is the one video you can see several police officers even running away from the crowd as people are throwing stones at them. Now, we see those police officers running towards their cars, getting inside and trying to drive away. As I said, there are different kind of incidents taking place around the area, around this region, and there is also one incident where you can see on the video the regional Catalan police protecting ordinary citizens of Catalonia from National Guard. Now, it is a very emotional video, as it is possible to see how for some Catalan police officers, how difficult it is for them now to still fulfill their professional duty. It is a very difficult moment for them, and one officer was even crying, trying to hide his face and emotions, till a man from the crowd approached him to give him a hug and to support him. Now, it was and it's been a very emotional day here in Catalonia for many people. It was a shocking experience for many to see that sort of violence on the streets of Barcelona and in Catalonia. But despite all that fierce opposition, the referendum still continues and the voting is underway.
That's Medina Kocheva live in Barcelona for us. Many thanks, Medina. So, remarkable scenes in Catalonia. Remember, this is people getting into violent scenes with the police over, wanting to vote. Rest assured that our team in Barcelona are going to keep us right up to date with the situation there throughout the evening.